go. Good to see you once again.
Good to see you too, Tony.
All right, explain to us about these fees and how significant are they in terms of numbers?
So it's a very interesting topic, and I'm very glad that once upon a time I actually sold cars for a VW dealership. And what would happen in our case is that you would have a situation where we'd charge a client an on-the-road fee. So obviously as a salesperson, the first thing you ask is, what is this fee for? So just in case the client asks you, what can you say back to them? But we understood it on our side that, you know, a car has to go for a pre-delivery inspection, especially a new car. So once it arrives, it's all wrapped up, it's not able to function the way it's supposed to function, so it needs to go to the workshop, and the workshop will set it up and make sure that the vehicle is sound and make sure everything works properly. So then there'll be a fee from that to charge to the client called the on-the-road fee. With us, it was no more than 3,000 Rand, and then you get the normal license and registration fees and all those type of things.
Just want to stop there. I go and I buy the car.
Yeah.
It's a brand new car.
Yes.
It is not my responsibility that the car should be inspected and so forth. I expect this car to be in tip-top shape. Why are you billing me for something that the dealership should worry about?
It's a very good point that you bring upon, and I think one of the major factors when you find, especially when it comes to the volume manufacturers, and I think it's actually not a case of just VW Financial Services or VW South Africa, it's across the board. For when it comes to the volume game, there's not a lot of margin in these cars. So what happens is that this guy's got that discount, that guy's got this discount. So in the end, the dealers aren't making a lot of money, so they try to recoup costs one way or another, and one way is the on-the-road fee. But I think the problem is that sometimes some dealers will take it to another level, whereas people are charging 5,000 Rand, 6,000 Rand, 8,000 Rand, and it gets a bit ridiculous after some time, you know, so you can't really justify the cost at the end of the day.
So you're talking about the on-the-road fee, there's the admin fee as well, and handling fee charge. What on earth is a handling fee?
You see, I think that's where the grey area starts happening, because now when you ask the customer, what's a handling fee? It's almost a facilitation of sorts and all that. And
which is I expect if I go and I go buy to a piece of furniture or something, I don't get a handling fee.
Exactly.
No, I don't get inspection charge of some sort because I expect it all to be done. That's your cost.
Exactly. And I think, again, it always takes almost one person or one establishment to ruin the kind of the whole situation. And I think you'll get all the dealers actually operates quite independently. So it takes one dealership to then go and do that and then charge other fees, and then the other guy says, oh, hold on, I can do the same thing. I can do the same thing, and it spirals out of control. But like I say, on our side, we only had that one fee, and that was for that pre-delivery inspection. But at the same time, you know, I get what you're saying, that you should really, you know, not be paying that fee. Should the dealership absorb that fee? So it's a tricky one. It really is
so
a tricky
that's
one.
VW Finance, Financial Services, who are in trouble in terms of the tribunal. But are you expecting other financiers, other car dealers to also end up having to pay these fees back?
I definitely think it will cause a ripple effect. Because like I say, if you look at any manufacturer or any dealership, if people go back to their invoices and check, they will see that there will be some sort of a facilitation fee or an on-the-road fee, as we'll say. So it's across the board.
Okay. All right. Listen, this really upsets me to a certain extent, because personally, I've actually got a financial deal with VW Financial Services. So I want to take your advice. So how would you advise a consumer going forward to look out for the fees like this?
I would definitely say you need to ask the right questions. So each time you'll get an offer to purchase, and with your offer to purchase, you have to see and break down all the costs that the dealership charges you, and ask the question, say, what is this fee for? And like I say, if they can justify the fees, say, you know, this is what's been done on the vehicle, that's the whole checks and all the kind of thing that we've done. But if there's a bit of umming and ahhing and there's no real way to answer the question, I think you really need to dig a bit deeper. And for customers who are maybe going back now to see their invoices, check their invoices to see what they really did pay, because you might find that you might not have been ripped off as people might think they have been, and in some cases you might find that people have really been taken the mickey off, you know, so it's tricky.
And you're so right, we'd never ever do, I'd never go through any of this stuff. Never ever. Need to start now. All right, we're also going to talk about the new Golf R Plus. Okay, now this car is the fresh report that's come out of the UK that claims that Volkswagen is developing an extreme new Golf R Plus model. It's set to come out in about, 2020. Let's just take a look at this. Francisco, if I was a soccer player right now, I'd be in seventh heaven.
I think it's
correct.
It's so crazy because when you talk about the golf market in South Africa, we are the largest consumers of GTI and R products. In the world, we're one of the top countries that actually, we sell more Golf Rs and GTIs than most other Golfs in the actual segment. So we are a big performance golf market.
It's a really popular car. Just to state that particular one is the current Golf R, which is about 213 kilowatts, is it?
Yes. So you get the GTI, then you get the R. And I think in that one they showed us the GTI, and those, like you said, 213 kilowatts. But what's happened is that everyone wants more power.
Yeah.
And this whole project, I think it was a couple of years ago, we saw a project that they had codenamed the R400.
Yeah.
And everyone got excited. Everyone said, oh, you know, we're actually going to get a Golf R that is going to be next level. And then they canned the project. So, you know, everyone was like, oh, we really wanted this thing to happen. And then recently, like you mentioned, they've said they're probably going to reintroduce this concept that's going to be coming out within the Golf 8 variant. That's going to be happening in the next year or two. So it is going to be an extremely fast Golf. They plan for it to be really performance orientated.
Between 280 to 300 kilowatts.
Exactly. And that's big power. That's big power.
Because that's a small vehicle.
Yes. And I think the whole thing is that you do have manufacturers that have already done it. For instance, you've got the Audi RS3, which pushes out about 290 kilowatts. And it's in the same family. So it only makes sense for the Golf R400 for it to push out that kind of power. It's just a case of now, you know, with the VW group, I think it's tricky because where do they position the cars? That's the thing.
That's true. And they use the same, do they use the same engine as Audi because they're within the same family?
Within some aspects they do. So at the moment that Audi RS3 uses a different motor, but the Golf R at the moment uses a 2-liter turbo. So what they've said that they're probably going to try to push out the same amount of power from a small 2-liter turbo, which is going to be incredible to get that kind of power. But again, Mercedes-Benz has done it with the A45. That as well pushes out more than 200, about 290 kilowatts at the same time as well.
Is that its main competitor? Is this who they're aiming at?
It would be, because in that segment, that's where, you know, it's four-wheel drive cars, 2-liter turbo engines, and blisteringly fast, so it's 0 to 100 times of those cars.
But here's the thing, if you speed limit is 120 kilometers an hour, where are you going to drive this car? I mean, what's the point?
That's true. I think personally, and as somebody who drives a hot hatch, it's all about that short burst, those thrills. You know,
that's why you see the guys at the stoplights.
Exactly.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah, after 120, I mean, obviously, you know, you need to respect the speed limit. But like you say, it really, for city driving, you're not going to use it much, but it's nice to put your keys down and say, I've got the R400, you know. So, it's enjoyable.
Good with the ladies, I suppose, at some point, depending on how old you are. All right, thank you so much, Francisco. Good speaking with you. So consumers must read those contracts is what you're saying at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Okay, look out for those dodgy fees that you used to sell.
Used to.